So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Last week I presented at IBH, Innovate Business Hub, for networking. I was a spotlight speaker for 10 minutes, and I went through doing a presentation, obviously, of who I am and how we help businesses. And as I was putting the presentation together, I thought actually this would make, or part of it would make, a really good video. So here it is. So I am going to tell you about how we work with clients, but how we don't just do the compliance side of things. So all the things that you have to file to HMRC, Companies House, accounts, that payroll and everything. Yes, we do all of that. But I wanted to explain to everybody at the meeting how we do all the other stuff. So the stuff that isn't as common, that you don't have to do. And I know quite a lot of people think doesn't really apply to small businesses. So here I'm talking things like budgets, management reports, cash flow forecasting. So it's stuff that you don't have to do. No one's forcing you to do it. There's no legal obligation to do it like there is with accounts and payroll and all that other stuff. But it's services that we offer as accountants, we offer to our clients because they're actually really good tools to help you to grow your business, to get you to where you want to be. So it's easy for me to say, oh, you need to do a budget because of X, Y, Z. But that doesn't always comprehend, doesn't always make sense as to why and how it will actually help your business. So I took the people who I was presented to on a journey, and that's what I'm going to share with you. So all of our sessions, client relationships, however you want to call it, it all starts with a meeting. So when we initially take on a client, we would have a prospect meeting or a proposal meeting, or whatever you want to call it, new client meeting. And we also do this every year with clients as well. So as we come towards their year end, we'll do a meeting with clients, to look at ways we can do some tax planning with them, make sure that everything's covered before year end. But also to look at their coming year and just check in with them. So in both the meetings, the new prospects, when we're first at the beginning of a relationship, and then every year, we'll talk to potential and existing clients, obviously, about their goals. So that's why I said it all starts with a meeting. And in that meeting, we look at your goals. So if it's a new client, obviously we'd ask what their goals are because we don't know them. With existing clients, we'd review their goals. So we'd look back at what their goals were last year. Are they still their goals? Have they changed? Have they hit the goals? So they've got new goals. And that's something there to say that your goal will change throughout your life, throughout the span of your business. For example, my goal initially was I just wanted to be able to pay the bills. I wanted to pay the bills, keep a roof over our heads, feed my kids, and that was it. My goals have now changed because as I've hit that goal, I've become more ambitious. There's more I want out of life. My personal life has changed. I'm not on my own with my kids anymore. I've got my husband and I've got my stepchildren. We've got a large family now. So, and I'm looking more forward to the future, what I want out of life and where I want to be and everything. So therefore my goals have changed. And that's the same we find with clients. As they get to various stages of their life, their goals will change, and therefore what they need out of their business will change. So in that meeting is when we have that discussion around goals. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a huge goal. As I said before, mine was quite a small goal initially. You may have several goals. So you may say, right, well, while the kids are at school, I want to work 2 days a week and I want to earn X, Y, Z. I want to save for a nice holiday, maybe. But then once the kids are older, I can work a bit more, or I want to work a bit more. My goal will be to buy a new home, our dream home, or when the kids have left home, you may have a goal of where you want to retire to or move abroad. And that's kind of where we're at the moment. So to share with you, my goal at the moment is we want to buy a holiday home in Cyprus, which will eventually, when the kids are older and can either move out with us or if they've got their own lives, we want to move to Cyprus. So we've got a 2-stage goal there. And there could be loads of little goals in between. We've got a holiday we want to go take the kids on at some point over the next few years. So we've got loads of other little goals in between that we want to hit. So this is where we'd sit down and would actually put those goals on paper in a meeting. And then we'd look at a business plan. So if you're not sure of your goals, what you actually want, then part of the business plan can be looking at that and seeing what you do want. But if you've already got your goals, we can break them down on the business plan. And then we'll also detail some action points. So, for example, with mine, obviously I knew what my goal was, so that was quite easy to put in the goals section of my business plan, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know what I needed to get there. So one of my action points that we come away from with my business planning session was that I needed to find out what income I needed to know what mortgage I can get, or what mortgage I needed, to work out then what income I needed to get that mortgage. So then that became my financial goal. So that's a profit level, desired level to get a desired mortgage. But it could be that you want to work 3 days a week. So what do you need to do to achieve those 3 days a week? Do you then need to look at hiring staff? Do you need to, because you can't do everything, obviously. So it's all little things like that you look at in a business planning session. And then you get it all onto paper. So you'd have your goals, you'd have your action points, and would actually set some action points in there. So you come away with not just a business plan of where you're going at the business, but also some actual action points that you're going to go and physically do. And there'd be on a quarterly basis. I wouldn't do it for more than a quarter for an action point. And we'd actually set dates of when you're going to achieve each action point. And then, of course, we can hold you accountable to that. So that's how we use a business plan. And that then sets you up for the year as a whole, but then breaking it down per quarter throughout the year. And then the next point is your budget. So obviously we talked a little bit about, in my example, with Cyprus as our goal, I needed to have a certain profit level to be able to get the mortgage we needed. So that was the basis of my budget, or is the basis of my budget, should I say. Sometimes it's not feasible to go from where you are now to straight to that profit level. It may be something that needs working out over a few years. So you may need to break that down to a couple of years worth of budgets. And we just focus initially on that first year, that first achievement of goal, step towards your goal. And the way we do a budget is we'd look at what that level of profit is that you need. Then we'd look at obviously the tax, adding on your overheads to get you your gross profit. And then we'd look at your gross profit percentage and how your cost of sales are and everything. So then we can take it from there to get to your income, to your sales revenue target. So as you can see, we're working it back. We're not setting figures at the top and then working it down to get a profit. We're starting bottom up to make sure that what we're getting at the top, the sales revenue target, will actually deliver that profit that you need. And then from there, you can work out things like your average hourly rate that you need to charge if you're a service business. You can look at what you need to sell. If you're a product-based business, how many units do you need to sell? For us, it was a case of looking, right, well, this is our average fee per client. So if this is the profit, and this is our average fee, how many clients do we need to get to that sales target? So it's then you can break it down further and work out what actually is achievable, and then break that down into months. So for example, and I'm just plucking figures out of thin air here, so if I needed to get 20 new clients, I'm not going to get 20 new clients in 1 month. I don't want to. That's not fair on the clients. We can break that down. Actually, I should have done 24, shouldn't I? Because I can divide that then, and it's 2 clients per month. But you get where I'm going with this. You can see how knowing that end point and then breaking it down, because you know your multipliers, you can work it back. So that's how we use a budget. And then that gives you that target, and you know what you've got to achieve or what you need to achieve to get that profit figure. And actually, I'm just going to go back to budgets, because it's not only just about profit, and revenue, because when you are at work, your goal is potentially to work 3 days a week. It could be then enabling you to understand what you need to do for that. So it could be the fact that you need to employ somebody else. Therefore, you need to have a revenue target to be able to cover their wages as well as pay yours. So that's how that all comes into it to get to that kind of goal. And then we come on to management reports. There's a saying from Peter Drucker, and I hope I've said that right: what gets measured gets managed. And there's nothing truer than that, is it? Let's think about, and I'm going to use this as an example because it's something that me and my husband are doing, fitness goals. So my husband's got more goals than me. I just wanted to get a little bit more movement. So we've got obviously targets on our Apple Fitness app for move, exercise and stand, I think the 3 are. And then you've also got your steps as well. So when you set a goal, say you want to get 5,000, 10,000, whatever steps, you measure that every day, don't you, to see how close you are to your goal. Are you getting to your goal? Is it realistic? And so on. You're keeping track of where you're going. And then you can understand where you're not going right. So say you're going about your daily life, your goal is 10,000 steps, but you're only getting to 8. What needs to change to get you to 10,000? It could be you need to do an extra walk with a dog. It could be all this, but that's a real life example, and that's how management reports work. So they're tracking your progress towards your goal every month. The way we do it is, obviously you're not going to be tracking steps, but there's going to be key things in there which will be identified when you do your budget and your planning, and you're going to understand what your key performance indicators, KPIs, are. So you'd look at that. So you'd probably set maybe 2 to 3 can't even say that, 2 to 3 KPIs. It could be your KPI, one of them is your sales target. Are you reaching that sales target? It could be something as simple as that, but it could also be the number of clients that you've got. It could be increasing your average monthly fee. There's lots of different targets. It could be, say you're a restaurant, one of your KPIs could be the number of covers you do in a day or a service. If you are a hairdresser, the number of cuts you do in a day, or the number of colours you do in a day. So there's loads of different KPIs for different people, and it's making sure that you know what yours are, so then you can monitor it and measure it. You can see where you are against your budget. So say, right, to get to your goal, you need to be doing, let's go with a haircut example, 20 haircuts a day. Excuse me, hairdressers, if that's not feasible. I'm just plucking numbers out here. But can you see where I'm going? So if you say, right, to get that goal, you need to do 20 haircuts a day, you can then measure that. Are you getting to 20 haircuts a day? If not, why not? Why are you not meeting that goal? What's going wrong? Is it because you haven't got enough resources? You haven't got enough hours in the day? Do you need more people? Do you need more space to put the people in to do it? Like more chairs, more stations, or whatever you call them. So that's where you can work out what's going wrong and then dig deeper and find out why that's not going wrong. And we do this with you as well. So we don't just give you a report and tell you to just get on with it. We'll give you the report, pointing out the key things that you need to understand. And then we have a momentum call with you to actually take you through it and talk through what's going on. Why is this not working? What could it be? And we can dig deeper with you. It could be you're exceeding your target every month, in which case, did you set yourself a high enough target? So do we need to revise the budget and give you a higher target? Because you don't want to be achieving every month, because then you're just going to lose momentum and motivation. So it's all about keeping you on track, making sure your targets are smart targets, they're measurable, they're realistic, and that you can do it. And then if you are finding you're either over or under budget and some changes need making, you can make those changes. And then again, the next month review. How has making those changes affected it? So it's an ongoing process to keep you going. And a little bit of accountability as well, to make sure somebody's working with you to make sure you're doing what you say you're going to be doing. And it just builds up momentum and motivation I can't even say it now, I'm getting a bit excited. But it builds that motivation to keep you going. And then we come on to cash flow. So we've talked about reporting, budgets, and all of that so far has been more paper based. Cash flow obviously is realistic. And if you haven't got the cash there, no matter what it says on paper, it's never going to work. You're never going to get anywhere. If you can't pay your bills, that's it. It's game over. So cash flow forecasting is just as important as the other tools to make sure that what you're planning, is actually feasible and it does work cash-wise, but making sure you don't run out of cash you can actually afford. But it's not only just looking at it and doing that, it's giving you that peace of mind in your head, that certainty that, yes, I can take on this employee because this is where we're going and this is how I'm going to be able to afford it. Yes, I can take on those nice new offices that I've found that I really love that are a little bit pricey, but they'd be worth it. So it's little things like that, giving you that certainty and that peace of mind that, yes, you can do these things. And then ultimately, yes, you can take that money out of the business. That money is yours if it's profit and it's available to take out as dividends. Yes, you can. You have got the money there to do it. And then on the flip side, you're looking at, will you run out of money? This is when you can potentially run out of money if things carry on as they are. And then you can plan for that. So say, for example, you've run your cash flow forecast and you can see in 3 months' time you've got a bit of a dip. And if things don't quite go to plan, you could run out of money. You can preempt that and work out what can you do to make sure you don't run out of money. Can you delay a couple of payments to suppliers or ask for extended terms? Your bounce back loans, for example, if you see you're going to have a dip or you haven't quite got the income built back up in time to pay it, you can then delay it and take one of the options for paying as you grow. And it's things like that. But then you can also look at, are customers paying you quick enough? So if this customer paid you in 7 days rather than 14, would that solve your problem? Do I need to change my terms of payment? Could I look at a payment service like direct debit? That would get the money in quicker and be more certain. Do you need somebody to help with credit control? So you can look at the different options available to you to improve that cash flow. You can try things out, like we said before, try things out, see the impact. Is it working? If not, let's try something else. So that's how cash flow forecasting can help you to get to your goal, really, because you need to be able to have the money to pay everything to be able to get there and continue to grow at the pace you need to grow. There's no point in growing really quickly but not getting the money in, because then you can't pay your overheads or your team or yourself, more importantly, because at the end of the day your business is there to serve you, not the other way around. So I'm going to move my head, if I can, here, so you can see the website. So I hope that's helped you to understand how these tools actually can help your small business. They're not just buzzwords. They're not just there for the bank or people to, when you're going for funding and things like that. There are actual proper tools that help you in your business. They help you to move it forward and ultimately take you closer to your goals, which is where we all want to get. We want to get to our goals. And these are the tools that will really help you to do that. And just one last thing before I finish, accountability. I've skirted around it in a couple of places as I've been talking, but accountability is really, really important. And having somebody independent as well. So you could, for example, ask your spouse or your friend, or even your business partner, if you've got one, to hold you accountable. But at the end of the day, they're not independent. Are they going to be as hard on you as you need to? It's quite easy. I can go to my husband, we didn't quite hit budget this month. And he'll be like, don't worry about it. You did really well. You've been fine, blah, blah, blah. And forget about it. That's not going to keep you going. You need somebody, when you go, I didn't hit budget, they'll be like, well, why didn't you hit budget? Let's have a look at it. Let's see what's this, what's that, and things like that. So you can actually address any issues rather than just flounce over them and be a bit fuzzy-duzzy and forget about the things and not actually dig deep. So accountability is key, and we do offer accountability in various different options as well. So something to think about. So I hope you found this useful. If you want to talk more, then please do get in touch. Our website, I think I'm pointing to it, I hope I am, is up there, www.pinkpigfinancials.co.uk. Head over there, pop over to our Work With Us page and complete the quick questionnaire. And then at the end, there's a link to book a discovery call with myself. As I said, it all starts with a meeting. So we'll have a little discovery call and a little chat and see if it is something we would like to explore further. And then we'll get that first meeting booked in. So I hope to see you or speak to you soon. And I just need to move my face again so I can hit the stop button. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope it all now makes sense, and it's not just corporate speak, it is actually things we can do to help you get closer to your goals.